Good afternoon, everyone. Really pleased to be here. Again, Tania Armenta, President and CEO of Visit Albuquerque. I want to say thank you to Carl and to the Gala Board for this opportunity to give you an update, not only about Visit Albuquerque and our organization, but also about the current state of the industry, and then start to talk about this project that we've been working on collaboratively and collectively, the Destination Master Plan. So going to give you an update. All that to say that it's a fairly lengthy, I'm going to move through it pretty quickly. So if there's anything that you're like, hey, I want to know more about that, we have lots of staff members here with us today. So don't hesitate to just let them know if you want to learn something more about that. Before I get started, I do want to say thank you to, I was going to talk about service and some of the difference that we can make as a community in terms of where we head for the future. Some things, some observations that we're seeing in terms of, and that's really the Destination Master Plan, talking about filling those visitor gaps. And when I walked in the room today, I had the perfect example of someone going that extra mile to make me feel special and to pay attention to something that mattered to me. And that is, it was a really simple thing, but it was really meaningful. The GM, Mike Adams, and Amber, the food and beverage manager, greeted me when I came in and said, we've got you all set up, Tania. AV's here, we've got you all set up, and we've got your favorite drink for you. They know I like sparkling water, so they had sparkling water for me ready to go. So just wanted to give a shout out to the team here at the Albuquerque Marriott, to the Albuquerque Marriott Pyramid, and I think later you're going to have an opportunity to thank some more of their staff here at the end of the presentation. So what I hope to do today is, one, gratitude on behalf of our organization. The work we get to do is because of all the service that you provide. It's the experiences that you provide to those visitors that give us something to market and sell as Albuquerque. So first and foremost, want to extend gratitude to you. I hope in this presentation you learn a few things. We're all busy. And so some of you might say, I've seen that before. Some of you are definitely, this is an audience that we're close to. You're going to have seen some of this, but I do hope there's some new things here you didn't know. You learn a few things. I hope we inspire you. I hope everyone leaves this room feeling stronger about Albuquerque than when you walked in, and about what we can do together. And I really think that that's the last point, that I hope there's a commitment that this is about all of us pulling together. Things are going well, but we all know that the potential, there is so much upside for Albuquerque. We're just getting started, so I hope it's about the commitment that we all work together. We talked about some recognition of collaboration, and I just wanted to shout out that last week we celebrated Global Meetings Industry Day and shined a spotlight on the importance of meetings and conventions to Albuquerque's economy. We used our social media accounts to showcase the industry. We also sent an email to meeting planners nationwide just highlighting the advantages of meeting in Albuquerque. So it was dual prong. Let's celebrate it locally, but let's also make sure we have that business reason to just remind meeting planners how wonderful Albuquerque is. And so these are the fun images of those of you that participated for GMID 2024. And I just want to say that we celebrate that, but I really know I'm preaching to the choir when I say it shouldn't just be Global Meetings Industry Day when we're celebrating the importance of the Tourism and Hospitality Industry Day. It really should be celebrated every day and better recognized, I think, in this community for the power of tourism and hospitality. And I think collectively, many of us are working together. You heard from so many of our partners that are trying to work on that together. So in terms of these are just the recent stats, 6.7 million overnight visitors, $2 billion to the economy, currently supporting about 45,000 jobs. But it's not just about celebrating the economic impact. It's remembering that that's outside dollars. It's not just being recirculated in our community. And it's also people contributing not only lodger's tax and the other contributions for the tourism promotion, but it's about gross receipts tax. Those gross receipts tax are making a better Albuquerque, improving city parks, roads that are coming from the visitors as well. That's a substantial impact from visitors. In addition to that, it's about celebrating, preserving the assets that make our city unique. And so it's by our opportunity to share the traditions and the cultures that really make this place special and promote the understanding of cultural tourism, the appreciation of our community. It helps also build our one-of-a-kind attractions, our events, and that local residents get to enjoy. So recently I've been saying to so many of our business leaders, tourism assets equal quality of life for our residents, and trying to remind them of that. So we promote the city as a year-round destination for meetings, conventions, and sports events. You heard from various members of our team as they introduced. And so we're using a variety of tactics, and that's everything from operating visitor information centers to site visits, to conducting site visits for meeting planners, which many of you are involved, meeting planners or event organizers. You're involved with that effort. One of the things that was just recently done, though, is we've been telling that story about the economic benefit and tourism assets, but a study that was just completed talks about why tourism advertising is important, not just because of the tourism benefits, but it talked about how it also enhances the city's reputation, and I think we can all agree we'll take that. We'll take that in enhanced boost. So this is the new study that just came out was called the Destination Promotion. It was a catalyst for community vitality, and it said for tourism advertising, you also see a 17% increase in awareness of a destination as a place to start a business, 17% lift in the number of people that say that destination is a good place to retire, and a 15% increase in the number of people that say it's a good place to live. So this is work that's impactful to not just tourism, but overall economic development, overall benefits to our community. So a little bit, we're going to walk through some of our tourism marketing work and just update you on a few things. I wanted to start just by reminding everyone who our target market is, our target audience is right now, and it's the curious explorer. This type of traveler is defined by their behaviors, attitudes, and outlook on life. They're not demographic categories such as age, ethnicity, or marital status. When they travel, they don't want a cookie cutter experience, a cookie cutter vacation. They want to immerse themselves in authentic experiences. Albuquerque is the perfect place for them because our city offers a combination of culture, cuisine, attractions, and events that can't be found anywhere else. So that's what we've titled our target audience, Curious Explorers. We are currently directing our advertising to, our paid advertising to 15 core cities, and those cities are the top origins of market. So we're paying attention. This is all data driven. These are the top markets that are already driving travel to Albuquerque. And so, of course, Phoenix, Denver, El Paso, and Dallas are consistently among the top markets. I do want to see you see Los Angeles on that list. We're seeing strong growth from Los Angeles. And you see two new markets on there highlighted. Houston and Chicago are highlighted. Those are brand new markets for us. And they are at their new advertising because we've been seeing the insights that we have the potential to grow visitation from those specific areas. Our marketing messages are directed to those curious explorers, that target audience. We're using 3 key messages here, and you see it's culture and heritage, outdoor adventure, and scenic beauty, and one-of-a-kind attractions and events. Those are really the 3 key messages that we're delivering in terms of that advertising. Online banner ads play a really key market. So while I gave you that geography, I want to say this is an exception to this. This is really a national buy because of the way digital marketing works today. It's programmatic buys, so we're finding those people no matter where they live based on, we're targeting them and delivering outdoor recreation ad to a mountain biker, and featuring New Mexico cuisine to a foodie, and a pet-friendly ad to a dog owner that's going to appreciate that. So that is the exception to the rule in terms of that geography that I showed you, as digital advertising is really finding them no matter where they are across the country. On the next exercise, I'm going to ask you, and somebody try to remind me if I don't do this, but I'm asking you to raise your hand if you've been in a market that I am about to share some new creative, and if you've seen it personally. The first one that I'm going to share is since February of 2023, 5 trains on the Denver Light Rail system have carried Visit Albuquerque advertisements and promoted our unique culture and beauty. 4 of the designs showcased hot air ballooning, colonial Hispanic art punch tin, Adobe architecture in Old Town, and Pueblo pottery, and we worked with local artists to create the designs. A fifth design that celebrates Route 66 was just added in February of 2024. It's of course paying homage to the iconic neon lights that you see along Route 66, and it's also building that excitement around the centennial for 2026. So you see it's already talking about the centennial. And each of these trains has a QR code that takes you to a page that's specific to that topic on our page, on our website, and then you can learn more. So really fun. Right next to the door as you onboard for those trains, you can click that QR code. Out of curiosity, anybody seen these trains in Denver? Love it, love it. All right. We are also promoting Albuquerque at passengers at 8 U.S. airports right now, 8 various airports. So at Phoenix Sky Harbor, we have these, in Terminal 4 where American and Southwest are at, we have these window wraps that are 6 feet high and 45 feet long. Anybody seen those? Phoenix? I love, everybody goes Phoenix. Everybody goes, yeah. It is the substantially busy airport, so that proves that. At Dallas Love Field, we have digital advertisements in the main concourse and on the baggage claim level. Anybody seen the Dallas Love Field? Love it? All right. Here's a new one. I hope some of you have seen this. Denver International Airport. These are the new gate hold signs in Concourse C, and I've personally witnessed them. They are all along the concourse, really impactful, and they rotate with all of these different creative designs, so highly visible. We also have large vinyl signs in Terminal A and C at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport. That's Dallas-Fort Worth, just for, and Denver International, actually, we learned is the 3rd busiest airport in the world. And DIA is. Dallas-Fort Worth is the 2nd busiest airport in the world, not in the country, in the world. So this is Dallas-Fort Worth. Albuquerque has the single largest ad space at DFW. It is the banner that overlooks the baggage claim area in Terminal C. It's 77 feet long, and the image you see is actually 2 images because it doesn't all fit in one photo. So it's actually stitched together, so you get an essence of that. Anybody seen any of that work at Dallas-Fort Worth? Yeah, great. Starting this next month, we already started it, and we already saw evidence of it working. We have a presence in 4 new airports. And so at Austin Bergstrom, Chicago Midway, John Wayne Airport in Orange County, and Los Angeles International Airport, when approximately 1/3 of travelers try to log on to get free Wi-Fi, they're gonna first view a 15-second ad from Albuquerque, and the ad will highlight outdoor recreation April through June, and then it's going to spotlight culture July through August, and one that will focus on cuisine when we get to September and October. And I will say, whether you are reserved up that ad or not, you're still going to be, anyone who tries to log on to Wi-Fi is going to be asked a question, one question about their impression of Albuquerque as a destination, some really great insight that we're going to receive from that. And we received, one of the clients this week, Angie received a text from one of her clients over the weekend and said they were in Chicago and said thank you for the free Wi-Fi. So we knew they were recognizing that. We have new outdoor billboards that are, this spring and summer we have a new set of outdoor billboards that are running in 10 cities. Amarillo, Austin, Colorado Springs, Denver, Dallas, El Paso, Los Angeles, Phoenix, Tucson, and Houston for the first time. And there are more than a dozen different designs. We just showed you a couple of them on the screen. We've already started advertising, of course, for the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Our campaign for Balloon Fiesta launched on April 1st, and will continue through mid-July. And it's online banner ads. It's a 30-second spot on connected TV. And it's in targeting travelers from Arizona, Colorado, Texas, Los Angeles County, and parts of New Mexico that are outside of Albuquerque. And here's a quick preview of that spot.
Each October, Albuquerque skies awaken. They fill with floating giants, bursts of magic and light, kaleidoscopic colors. Faces fill with joy and amazement. From the first light of dawn to the last glow of dusk. Nothing compares to the exhilaration of the Albuquerque International Balloon Fiesta. Step into the magic and the wonder.
So I just rattled through all of that advertising and marketing, and you may be wondering, okay, how do we know if it's effective? How do we know that that money that we're spending? I did show you the ads or the research earlier that says not only what it does for tourism, but other elements. But I want you to know that we are measuring the effectiveness of our paid advertising campaigns through sophisticated research tools. That industry has moved at light speed in terms of what we can learn about our advertising. So we've done brand lift studies, we've done advertising attribution research, and more. I'm just going to show you a couple of things that I think are just to share kind of some of that work. The first one is the brand lift study from Los Angeles, from our Los Angeles outdoor campaign that ran last year from April through July of 2023. And we received the results of this in December of 2023, so after about 6 months after the campaign had completed. And the results showed, you'll see in every category, that those people who saw our outdoor boards were more interested in researching Albuquerque as a destination than those who did not see the outdoor boards. And that increased interest level, what we thought was great, was across all age groups and genders. So it wasn't just there was broad interest in Albuquerque through that advertising. We went a step further, and with that Clear Channel, with that campaign, and by tracking cell phone locations, so this is the other thing, we have some geolocation insight that we subscribe to, plus through this vendor, we were able to determine that whether people in Los Angeles, when people saw one of our billboards and subsequently traveled to Albuquerque. So the data showed that people who saw Visit Albuquerque outdoor board were 28% more likely to travel to Albuquerque than those who hadn't seen an outdoor board. And extrapolating the number, that means that the outdoor campaign drove an additional 16,322 visits to our city over what we would have typically seen. So what was that lift from that advertising campaign? The next one is really great. We carefully track the performance of our digital advertising, and this is through our research provider, Adara, who they are able to track our online ads and how many of those people have booked a flight to Albuquerque or a hotel stay in Albuquerque. And this is the data from July 1st of 2023 through March 12th of 2024, and it shows the average return on ad spend was $11.4 for every $1 spent, and that's in traveler spending. I do want to make a little caveat that that's really only the spend on hotel stays. That doesn't include anything else. So it's a super conservative number that you're seeing there in terms of the overnight, in terms of that spend. So look at that total, that $17.8 million in hotel revenue from that. Our social media campaigns and channels play an important role as well. Hopefully you're all following and sharing and doing all those things to uplift our community. We have a strategy not only for organic social posts, but paid posts, and we're regularly working with social influencers to spread the word. Our audience is growing, but more importantly, the fastest one has been TikTok, 72% growth year over year. In addition, the engagement levels are really high. So we have about 1,700 engagements each month, which is up nearly 120% year over year. So really impressive growth. Do want to give a shout out to our team. We just won a national award at eTourism Summit. We won the Best Social Media Campaign Award. So really great. Another important aspect, and I'm paying attention to time, so I'm just gonna make sure my pace. I want to say that our successful media relations program, the work that we do for earned media, generates thousands of positive articles about the city each year, and they're proactively pitching stories to writers. They're working on inquiries that come in, and they're hosting writers for that experience firsthand here in the city to write about it. So just want to give a shout out. And this one was a really fun new experience. Just in the last month, there was a media and sales mission where we took the flavors and colors of Albuquerque to the writers where they lived. So this was in New York City to help them, encourage them to be excited about Albuquerque. And it was an immersive dinner with the visuals. Those are provided by Electric Playhouse. So the Electric Playhouse made their experience in New York, and then a fine dining experience that was prepared by Chef Mark Quinones from Level 5. So it was a truly immersive experience, and it's received an overwhelming response from those that were in attendance, both the media and the sales clients, the meeting planner clients that were there. And the media, I can tell you that some of the outcome representatives from several media outlets, including NBC's Today Show, have already indicated that they plan to include Albuquerque in future coverage. We're going to show you, there's some really remarkable, I saw it yesterday for the first time, the video from this experience. I hope to show it to you at another time. But this freelance writer just did a little post. He's a writer for Photos, Travel, Forbes, and Travel and Leisure, and this is his little post about the experience. So, just a little taste, not actually a taste, but just a little flavor from that. I also heard that a conference director, regional conference direct representative that was in the audience was super impressed by everything there, and we think we'll see big dividends in terms of not only their reach, but the 5 additional representatives that they oversee. So that was wonderful from the New York experience. So no doubt, convention and sports sales, they are important drivers to our overnight visitation. So I wanted to spend a few minutes just talking about what's happening with our sales and services team and the work that they're doing. We'll tell you that you'll know we've had some changes in our sales team, and we're working to fill those positions. We have some exciting announcements that are coming in terms of rebuilding our sales team in some areas. We have a Chicago-based representative in the last year that's doing work for us out of Chicago. That one of those new positions, of course, will be a DC-based sales representative that will be back, in the DC area. You heard Nikki Baca introduce herself, and she says, I'm one of the sales managers. She is the sales manager for small meetings and the group tour market. So if you're interested in small meetings or group tours, Nikki is the one that you should be talking to. So just a little bit about the team. In terms of, they're using all types of tactics to, in terms of the work that they do. To raise awareness and to bring more of those leads in, to solicit the RFPs and to convert those leads into business. And so those are just a few of the tools on the screen. And here are a few highlights of the meetings and conventions that we will welcome to Albuquerque for the remainder of the year. And you can see that those are a range of scientific, academic, and professional groups. And really, Scott has really been working with the team to focus in on STEM meetings. We know it's great to have Linda here, perfect example of, with her history with Sandia National Labs. Key thought leaders, work being done here. More STEM meetings should be housed here in Albuquerque. This is just what's on the books right now for meetings and conventions. In terms of book to date is $21 million in estimated direct spend and 26,500 attendees. Those are just the bookings from Visit Albuquerque. Of course, that's not all of your individual bookings or things that Hispano Chamber of Commerce is putting on the books as well. Sports events are also an important contributor, and our sports sales team, it works with regional and national organizers to bring tournaments and competitions to Albuquerque. And this year, I think if you've been downtown, you've been able to see the strength of sports in terms of whether it's the indoor track athletes that were in during the winter, or the gymnasts that were there this last weekend and will be there again this weekend. These are some of the events from this fiscal year in terms of the sports, and you'll see it ranges, really great range there. Here's the economic impact of those events. Of course, some of those are repeat events. We have the benefit of repeat events for Albuquerque, more so in the sports arena than we do in the meetings and convention market. 220, over about 200, let's call it 230,000 attendees, and 56 million in estimated direct spend from those groups. And that was everything that was on the books. What I thought I'd say for just a moment, and of course our partnership with ASM Global in terms of the convention center, work, just critically important, not only for downtown, but for this overall community, and I would say this state. Really, Albuquerque's convention center is New Mexico's convention center. That's how important it is. And I wanted to I thought this was an interesting slide just to show you what business at the convention center. This is meetings and conventions and sports events together. So it's both groups. But you'll see 2019 was a banner year. Everybody remembers National Senior Games. That's an important 25,000 attendees, and nearly 17.3 million of that 2019 is thanks to National Senior Games. But I'm also pleased to tell you that the second highest on that list is 2024. That's really great to see in terms of the convention center business. So this is just an example. Our team is going to go over to over 30 trade shows and events this year. I know if Scott would love for me to plug and say we'd like for more of the hotels to join us on the road in terms of at those industry events. And so you see some of those that will be attending in terms of the meetings and convention market and the sports market this year. And it's a lengthy process. So we know a lot of especially the bigger events don't happen overnight. It's a really lengthy process from RFP to closing the business. So to stand out at those trade shows, we have been creating immersive experiences by activating the booths, so showcasing Albuquerque's local culture and attractions. And so William Stafford, he stood up earlier, traveled and showcased the New Mexico cuisine with Sadie's here on the one image. In the middle, you see Jesse Sampson, who does 360-degree work, videography, and he is doing a virtual experience. You can do virtual experiences of Albuquerque, including a hot air balloon ride from our booth. And then Jason Eunice Delgado, he's a fifth generation tinsmith. He created that tin work that you saw on that train in Denver. He's been going on the road with us. All three of them really big hits in terms of that activation on the road. Our air service, I want to hit real quickly. SELA went on an air service, went with the Albuquerque International Airport and the Albuquerque Hispano Chamber of Commerce to the Routes Americas Conference. And that's really just us understanding how important air service is to Albuquerque and continuing to work in a collaborative fashion to build future route development. Some of that, again, lengthy process. We know what's happening in the airline industry. Some of that not happening immediately, but important for us to make sure that Albuquerque is having that conversation. I want to talk a little bit about the overall destination performance. I know that you'll enjoy this, taking a look at this. This is 2023's average occupancy, and you'll see that the split between the overall occupancy for Albuquerque and then the split between full service and limited service in terms of that occupancy. Also really pleased to show you that we outpaced both our comp set and the national average for 2023. So kudos to everyone in this room. This was the average daily rate. Again, we split it out for you so you know what the average daily rate was for limited service properties and for full service. And this is the area we've got some work to do. We don't outpace the national average or the comp set. So that's just, every time we look at that, that's a reminder just collectively to the industry that there's more work to be done there. The RevPAR, here's the properties in terms of $74.46 on RevPAR. See the split there? Again, very similar story in terms of comparison to the comp set and the national average. This is short-term rentals. Wanted to also share just in terms of overall accommodations. This is the 2023 data. Actually, 3% change, but you do see a in the occupancy, but a 4.7% increase in ADR for the short-term rentals, and you'll see the RevPAR there for short-term rentals as well. And we're saying at any given time, it's one of those that is always changing the number of short-term rentals in our community. So a couple of things I want to end with in terms of as we and then open it up for questions. I do want to talk about the work that we talked a lot about sales and marketing and that work, but I do want to now kind of circle in that we're embarking on some work that's in destination development. that is about what does that visitor experience, what do we have to market in terms of what do we have to bring and lure those visitors to Albuquerque, and make sure then secondarily, make sure that what we're marketing to them, that when they come here, we deliver on that brand promise, that all those ads and the marketing we're doing, experience matches up in terms of what their experience is. So you're going to see a lot more of work in terms of destination development from our team, and that's part of our mission to improve the visitor satisfaction so that that marketing and that brand promise does come to fruition. So the Tourism Grants Program was launched last year. I want to say this is thanks to the Albuquerque Tourism Marketing District, so really to the hotel community. A lot of what I've shared today is about that been able to do that because of that supplemental funding, and this is a perfect example. We've never granted any money to our partners before this last year, and that was ATMD dollars. It was $429,000. I don't have time to, I'll just show you some of a list of the grants from last year. Yeah. So the grant cycle is back open, and this year it's $500,000. It's $500,000. So anyone sitting in here that thinks of something that, hey, that we should be celebrating that, and there's more potential. We can either enhance that, expand it, grow it. It's innovative. It's something that I saw in another city that we don't have that experience. It would be perfect here. Those types of things, innovative, transformative, overnight visitation, keywords in terms of what we're looking for in the tourism grant program. So that's the cycle. That's the grant applications in terms of that work. Now switching gears to the Destination Master Plan. I hope that many of you have already been engaged in this work and been paying attention to kind of as the process has moved along. Right now there's a process open that I'm going to talk about in a second. We want to hear from everyone in this room. And that is the Destination Master Plan. We kicked it off at our annual meeting last year. You'll see here on the screen just some of the reasons why we're doing this, what we hope that the Destination Master Plan entails. I will tell you we've met directly. We're working not only industry leaders, so our board is the steering committee for this, so those individuals that stood up are the steering committee for the Destination Master Plan. We've also met directly with Mayor Keller, and many of his city directors are very involved in this process. So there's buy-in from the city in terms of the Destination Master Plan, along with the broader business community, economic forum, others, all of the different economic drivers and economic development organizations have been invested in this. So I do hope we're going to unveil this at our annual meeting coming up this fall. In terms of the Destination Master Plan, this is some of the objectives. It's going to create a 10-year roadmap for our cities and to improve our competitiveness as a destination, enhance our positioning. It's going to talk about enhance the quality of the visitor experience while also enhancing the quality of life, and it's going to ensure that everyone benefits from this industry. These are some of the steps in terms of that I just outlined over that year in terms of the Destination Master Plan. And right now we have a survey. If you have not taken the stakeholder survey, we have a stakeholder survey. I should see more cameras up. Everyone's already completed it. Yay, you got the postcards. No, okay, Angie's reminding me. I was like, yeah, no one's gonna take a picture. The stakeholder survey, and if you start that stakeholder survey and you're like, this doesn't feel like I'm the right, here's the other thing. We have a resident sentiment survey. We're going to try to get a huge number of residents. Right now we're using direct mail, email, all types of avenues to get to a broad cross-section, inclusive section of our visitors for resident sentiment. And we also have a visitor survey that's going out to those who visited Albuquerque and those who have not. So a 3-part survey process that is out right now. A really quick, I probably am looking at time. I'm going to quickly go through this. You're going to see more of this. This is some of the work from Destination Master Plan that we've already seen. This is just a comparison of the total number of hotels. This is our comp set when I said we were outpacing our comp set earlier. And I know some of this is small, but Austin, Charlotte, Denver, Phoenix, Oklahoma City, Portland, Tucson, Albuquerque, Salt Lake City, Colorado Springs, and Little Rock are the comp set. That's the number of hotels. When we look at the number of hotels, that's a comparison, some of the data work we've done. And the comp average has nearly 35% more Here's probably the more important story in terms of that, not about the total hotels, but Albuquerque has the highest percentage of mid-scale and economy properties at 41% of total inventory, and the comp average is 26%. And we have only 18% of luxury hotels and upper scale rooms compared to the competitive average of 27% when we look at that. So there's some additional insight there. This is the total meeting hotel meeting space. When we look at that comp set, and we're 32% less than the comp set in terms of hotel meeting space. And this is short-term rental inventory, just another one in terms of the comp set that we talk about that a lot here. So these are just, we're not drawing any conclusions. JLL, I didn't mention we've hired JLL, who many of you know is massive in the real estate world, but they also have a global tourism advisory unit in JLL, and they are the ones leading this destination master plan process. They're right now looking through the demand driver scorecard. They're looking at what are our top demand drivers? What are one-of-a-kind offerings? What's iconic scale? And what's has engaging visitor experiences? So we're doing that, and you'll see kind of a little bit more about the demand driver scorecard. Also going through a tourism readiness index, 66 indicators across 8 pillars that's going to look at those categories to see how Albuquerque is doing as far as tourism readiness index. A little bit more about the tourism readiness index. Bringing it home, Route 66, you already heard me mention this. We're working directly with the city of Albuquerque. This is a huge opportunity for Albuquerque. When we look at the one that I'm particularly interested in is international tourism. There is the opportunity for these 8 states, the Great American Road Trip, and we know we can increase our international visitation. So working with our partners at the City of Albuquerque, the Arts and Culture Division, the State of New Mexico, our partners at Brand USA, the nation's destination organization, to really make sure that we capitalize on the Route 66 Centennial. And some of what's already been identified, I will say I'm pleased. Albuquerque really got a jump start, and there's a lot that's been happening. Not every state, when I compare notes with the other 7 states, not everybody is as far along as we are in terms of recognizing this. So really want to give kudos to everyone that's been having this discussion. Upcoming events, Business Exchange. Business Exchange is back. There is a Business Exchange next Tuesday at Escape in Time. We also, ACE training, that's the Albuquerque Customer Experience Training that Trish stood up and said she's the trainer for. Again, just plug that this is huge. Those experiences that I had today, I think can come from those trainings in terms of just making sure we know what is there to do in Albuquerque and those customer service elements that can make a difference. At our partner orientation, we're doing one every month. So our partner orientation is coming up on May 15th. And the last thing I'm going to end with is a feel-good piece. This is our Albuquerque anthem. For those that haven't seen this, just going to end with 3 minutes that'll make you really proud and remind us why we all call this place home.
My explorers, how will Albuquerque change you? Will it inspire you to work for this view?
Done.
Motivate you to take this on? No! All right, vámonos! Stop. Breathe it in. As the poet once said,
We be of the earth and out of this world at the same time. We be sunsets so beautiful, they paint themselves on the edge of the earth.
here, poetry is everywhere.
It's a mosaic in the air. stories told on brick walls.
A life-changing bite.
A reflection on the face of the water.
Impressions left on the land.
We are your favorite city's favorite city. The heart of the Southwest, just a little to the left, in New Mexico's chest.
Our heart beats at its own pace. Now, run with it. Feel the heat. Get moved by the rhythm. Speak your mind.
Green.
Red.
And find beauty in the compromise. Experience it. Share it. Embrace it. Laugh about it. Will you leave the door open and let this city in?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it change you? That's what I thought.
Right, so thank you again for this opportunity. I believe I have time for questions. Carl, you want a question? Carl's question has to do with LA and why what do we think is driving that stronger growth in LA. I'm gonna say that Carl gave a couple examples. I'm gonna say it's a couple of things. I think one, we do have good air service to that area, so that makes a difference. And we have multiple airports that you can come out of. I do want to say this is a collaborative effort. You have the state tourism office doing work in California. That makes a difference, promoting the entire state. You do have film tourism, and we spent $1 million in that area last year. When I told you about that campaign, that was not dipping our toe in the water. That was a huge campaign. So that opportunity to kind of build that and to make sure that New Mexico, hey, Californians that are wanting to travel and move, to experience something other than California, New Mexico and Albuquerque are a great choice. All right, thank you all very much for your partnership and support.